Hey guys, Coach Vic here with another little mindset video for you, and today I'm probably going to challenge you a little bit. Recently I did a little bit of research because that's how my brain works, particularly when I have a lot of quiet time. And I was really looking into using this time for growth and to challenge some of the ways that we've been living and some of the things that we consider normal, I guess. I have a real hate for the word normal, to be honest, because in the recent few years, normal has been used for me, particularly in a health and wellness mindset, in the wrong ways. So personally, I'll give you some examples. My mum had diabetes. She's had type 1 diabetes for a very long time, and she was really, really sick. She had all these different symptoms, and the medical system told her that they were normal, and everything's normal. That's what you get for being type 1 diabetic or having autoimmune issues. And it ended up, she persisted in digging and saying that no, something's not right. She had cancer. Another example for me is, personally, I have asthma, and I have, depending on what I've been eating, I get really bad eczema, kind of psoriasis stuff. And it got really bad about 18 months ago. I went to a doctor, and the normal doctor said, basically you have to take your asthma medication. It's got steroids in it that will help your skin condition. I challenged him on that because I knew it was related to gut issues. And he said it has nothing to do with your gut issues. You've got an autoimmune system disorder with your asthma and skin issues. Take your medication, get used to it, you've got to live with it. I cleaned my diet up and my skin issues resolved. And again, the term that he used in that appointment was, it's normal. It's normal for someone with an autoimmune disorder to have XYZ. They're just two examples of lots that has happened over recent years. And again, I do want to reiterate that I don't have a problem with conventional medicine. I just like to think broader. So they're personal issues. And then when I started going into my research last week, looking into what normal was for our society at the moment, some of the stats were really, really scary. If you follow me on social media, you would have seen what I shared at the time, but some of them include every 40 seconds globally, a person commits suicide. In Australia, there are 1,500 scripts written for mental health disorders per 1,000 people. Over half of Australian marriages end in divorce. Environmentally speaking, the ozone can deal with, I think it's 350 parts per million of carbon dioxide. We're currently at over 400 and growing. 50% of children have an autoimmune disease these days. The top 3 leading causes of death in the Western world at the moment are lifestyle related. So they are heart disease, cancer, and medical error. I could go on and on and on, which is not the purpose of today's video, but you can obviously understand this perspective that I come from, that normal isn't okay necessarily. And I want you guys to challenge yourselves, particularly in this time of isolation where we're all living really differently, to look at what your normals were in pre-COVID life, I guess, and maybe what some of your new normals are, and take some positives and look at where you can make some changes. So some of you would be aware that I am a holistic health coach. I studied with the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, which means we cover all facets of your health and lifestyle. So I guess what I want to leave you with in challenging the normal and looking at how you want to take some of those changes into post-COVID life, I guess, is for you to look at some of those big areas of your life, which I will list some of them for you now. So, everything that contributes to your health and wellness includes physical activity, nutrition, your physical health, coming down to spirituality, a sense of joy, your relationships, your social life, your home environment. What else? Your career, your finances, everything comes into those things. And you'll often find, even by me listing those things, if you actually listen to your gut, you'll know that one area that needs the most attention. For me, for example, a couple of years ago, I was suffering with pretty bad depression, and for me, massively, the thing that was out of balance was relationships and social life, because I'd totally isolated myself. So that's where I knew needed the most attention first. And we have a tendency to over-focus sometimes on some areas. So for me at the time, I became obsessed with food because it was the only thing that I felt like I could control as a new mother at the time. So it's, finding that balance, and I say it's kind of like finding a homeostasis within the whole of your life. And again, if you're struggling to figure out where needs the most attention first, the question I often ask clients or people struggling with this, for people without kids, think about yourself if you were 50 years from now, or depending on how old you are, say you were a 70 or 80-year-old woman, looking at you right now and the lifestyle that you were living, ask yourself what that 80-year-old woman would say to you. Or the really powerful one, question that I often ask mums in particular is, would you gift the life that you are living now and all of the decisions you make in terms of all of those facets, wrap it up in a box and gift it to your child? If not, and most of the time the answer is no, if not, what would you change first and start chipping away at, the biggest things that, you really wouldn't gift to your child? Again, for me, as I said, a couple of years ago, that would have for me gone, holy moly, I don't want Grace to be so lonely and isolated. So that's what I had to work on. And that's why I joined Lissome. So yeah, couple of different perspectives to look at it all with. I know what I've just said may be confronting to some, but I hope that it inspires some kind of change so that post-COVID we can all become a little bit more aligned and a little bit more holistically healthy, looking at the long-term scheme of things. Always here to help, so please contact me if you need personal help with any of it, or any of the coaches here at Lissome, because we've all got a lot of experience in those areas. Love to you all.